Here's the first fact. Snake from Metal Gear Solid does not like Sonic the Hedgehog. Super Smash Bros. Is obviously one of the most popular franchises in the world. There was once upon a time when Sonic the Hedgehog was not in those games. But when he was revealed as a fighter in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, this was something that broke the internet at the time. Sega's iconic mascot was finally going to be featured in the series. And while this was the age before mass social media adoption, make no mistake, there was extremely positive sentiment towards Sonic joining Super Smash Bros. At the time. Another character who was also introduced in this game was Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series. Maybe Sonic overshadowed him just a little bit. But did you know that Snake actually doesn't like Sonic? Well, if Snake plays against Sonic in Super Smash Bros. Brawl as well as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, on his map, you will get a conversation that goes like this.
Snake, what is it?
Something about that hedgehog rubbing me the wrong way.
Oh, you mean Sonic the Hedgehog? But everyone loves Sonic. He's a big star. Do you have any idea how excited people are that he's here in Brawl?
Yeah, I know. There's something about him I just don't like.
With all that being said, Solid Snake is basically an IGN game journalist. Let's move on to the next fact. Here's the next fact. Sonic and the Secret Rings was supposed to have an additional animation screen when Sonic beats a level, but it was later scrapped. Everyone talks about how bad Sonic 06 was, but partly due to the reason is probably because of the existence of Sonic and the Secret Rings. It's well known that during the development of 06, half the team was split to work on this game, which also didn't end up being received that well either. So this game right here is the reason why the Sonic franchise was a laughingstock and will never get an adventure game ever again. Just kidding. There is a lot of charm to this game though. So what happens when you beat a level in this game? Well, it's pretty simple. You get a mission complete sign and that's it. Nothing too special. But during development of this game, when it was titled Sonic Wildfire, there was an additional plan, and this actually looks a lot better than the final product. Sonic Video Archive was able to find this video, and in the early demo days for Sonic and the Secret Rings, this would be the additional animation as well as the voice clip. It's got Sonic with the signature Nike checkmark smile, and I gotta say, this looks really good and faithful to the OG Sonic from back in the day. Additionally, there was a similar animation for the tech demo made for Nintendo DS, but this version never materialized. But that's a very interesting fact. Let's move on to the next one. Here's the next fact. Sonic's shoes were inspired by Michael Jackson and Santa Claus. Almost as iconic as Sonic's signature blue fur is probably his bright red shoes that contrast really well, by the way. Are they shoes or boots? I don't know. But there are some very interesting facts about the development of why he looks this way. According to the character designer Naoto Ishima, the design of Sonic's shoes was inspired by boots worn by Michael Jackson on the cover of the album Bad, and the colors were inspired by Santa Claus. Additionally, Oshima found the color red fitting for Sonic's speed, especially when his legs spun while running. You know, the signature figure 8 running style. I mean, I gotta say, the red does contrast really well when he's running like this. Good idea. Let's move on to the next fact. Here's the next fact. Sonic may have aged backwards. So some of you may or may not remember Sonic Jam, which is technically one of the first 3D Sonic games to ever exist. In a way, it had like a little 3D hub world, which kind of served as a basis for Sonic Frontiers open zone as well as Sonic Adventure. But there was a little house where you could look at the bios of the characters, and they reveal the ages of them. As you can see right here, you'll see Sonic the Hedgehog. It says he's 16 years old. His strong point is obviously running, and he can exceed Mach 1. He can't swim. He likes fast-moving things, music, and he hates the words slow and tears, but it says that he's 16. Knuckles the Echidna, in this character bio, it says that Knuckles is age 15. He can dig holes and climb cliffs with his spiked knuckles, and he has the ability to glide through the air. His weak point is girls, because he's a shy guy. He likes fruit, digging holes, and he dislikes strong sunshine for whatever reason. Now, fast forward a couple years to Sonic Heroes. Why am I talking about this game? Well, it's actually quite interesting because this was actually my first Sonic game I've ever played. And back in the day, before greedy corporate America took away the love and charm of the games because it cost too much money. Oh, you know what else cost too much money? $60 for Sonic Superstars. All right, you mother. Oh. But back in the day, video games used to come with manuals, and Sonic Heroes also came with a manual. That'd be the first thing you do when you get a new game. You'd look inside for the artwork. Not that I needed a tutorial, because I'm actually good at games, okay? Okay, maybe I'm not. But not that I needed a tutorial or anything like that, but you'd go in the game and look at the fun facts and artwork and stuff like that, and Sonic Heroes is no stranger to this. The Sonic Heroes manual tells a different story than Sonic Jam. It says that Sonic the Hedgehog is age 15, but Knuckles the Echidna is now age 16. So it looks like Sonic may have aged backwards, and there's a lot of confusion with the ages of the characters, which is probably why Sega has gone ahead and removed the character ages from their bios on the Sonic channel profile. Makes sense because the canon's always in flux. So did Sonic age in reverse? Well, honestly, if you think about it, his birthday was in Sonic Generations, but I think it's implied that he's still the same age. I don't know. The Sonic canon is a mess, but that is a very interesting fact that I've noticed. And you'll see a lot of those age contradictions in those early game manuals. Let's move on to the next one, though. Here's the next fact. Windy Valley from Sonic Adventure 1 was supposed to look a lot different. This actually isn't that obscure. A lot of like hardcore Sonic fans will know this, but Windy Valley is one of my favorite Sonic levels ever. Sonic Adventure is my favorite Sonic game ever, so I'm a little bit biased. But this level that we are all familiar with and know and love actually was not really supposed to look like this. There's actually some beta footage out there of what the level's original design was like. So this is the original Windy Valley right here. As you can see, there's definitely some inspiration from it, but it looks a lot more green and grassy, and it looks more like a Windy Valley that's located in the Mystic Ruins. The level design is a lot more open, a little bit more platforming, and personally, I think this would have been a cool addition to the game. Clearly, you have some inspiration from it, but it is kind of its own thing. In addition to that, the level was quite large as well. Perhaps this could have been an even better fit, but you know, if you think about the second level of the game being this intricate and complex, maybe it would have threw some people off, so they opted for the more linear Windy Valley that you see in Sonic Adventure 1. What could have been? Sonic Adventure 1's still the GOAT, so I'm not really too worried about it, but let's move on to the next fact. Here's the next fact. Every track in Sonic R starts with the letter R. Yo, mind blown. Sonic R, what a charming game. It was a 1997 racing game developed by Traveler's Tale, a development studio you may better know further work on the Lego Star Wars games. Big fan of those games as well. But this fact might be the most mind-blowing one yet. I don't know, maybe this is my first time discovering this and maybe I'm just an idiot. You can let me know in the comments if I am. Now, if you go into the track select of Sonic R, you'll notice Resort Island starts with an R. Radical City starts with an R. Regal Ruin starts with an R. Reactive Factory starts with an R. I don't have the other track unlocked. I'm on a fresh save file, but it's Radiant Emerald. I don't know, man. I find this to be pretty cool, and this definitely blew my mind when I saw it. So if you didn't know, now you know. Every track in Sonic R starts with R because it's Sonic R. That's a lot of R's. Somebody should call a pirate. Oh, wait, that wasn't funny. Oh, I'm getting canceled on Twitter. Oh, f you. Here's the next fact. Sonic can't swim, but this is actually a mistake. Yes, it's actually true. So if you are a Sonic fan, throughout the years, you know that he doesn't like water. Whether it's in video games, TV shows, movies, this guy can't swim, and his water levels are sometimes just really bad and annoying. Can Sonic swim? He's actually swimming right here. And no, he's not. He's drowning. See you later, Sonic. But there is a deliberate reason as to why our favorite blue rat doesn't like water. Doesn't like water. There's a few reasons for this, but Sonic can't swim because Yuji Naka wanted him to have something he's not good at as a character, but also one of the Sonic creators, Yuji Naka, actually did not know that hedgehogs could swim. I'm gonna be honest, why would he know that? I mean, I didn't even know a hedgehog existed until I saw Sonic, all right? But hedgehogs can swim. But due to Yuji Naka not knowing this fact, that's why Sonic has a weakness for water. And that's why he wears a life jacket in Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, because he can't swim technically. Or can he? I mean, my boy's hitting some laps right now. But let's move on to the next fact. Here's the next fact. The unreleased Sonic Extreme game was supposed to introduce a new character to the Sonic franchise. And that character is known as Tiara Bubowski. Tiara was an anthropomorphic cat that was supposed to appear in Sonic Extreme. And Sonic Extreme was a very, very weird game that ended up getting scrapped. It was reworked and redesigned so many different times, but it was trying to compete with other 3D platformers of the time. Obviously, as you can tell, this game had this like weird fisheye view or whatever, and honestly, I can't really tell exactly what is Sonic about this game. It must have gotten pretty far into development because there's so much gameplay footage of this game out there that's been recreated, rediscovered, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it. And this game ended up getting scrapped because, I mean, well, look at it. This was definitely no Super Mario 64, that's for sure. But the interesting thing about Tiara is that she was intended to be a love interest for Sonic in order to add romantic tension into the story. He was hoping that Tiara would be like a match for Sonic, basically, in terms of her abilities. But this never materialized because Sonic Extreme was obviously canceled. So that's another fact, but let's move on to the next one. Speaking of Tiara, here's the next fact. There was an unreleased game called Sonic Mars. Sonic Mars was going to be a spin-off game for the Sega 32X. It was a concept game, and this title got canceled due to unknown reasons, probably because 32X was a flop, it had technical limitations, and they ended up working on Sonic Extreme. The game itself was supposed to be basically like the Sonic TV shows, like Sonic Underground, but just like a video game. Apparently, it was supposed to feature characters like Princess Sally Acorn, Princess Tiara, Bunny Rabbit, among several other characters, and the plot was pretty cool as well. The plot description says, while Sonic was away checking on a security alarm in a remote part of the Great Forest, his pals Sally, Bunny, Tails, and Knuckles discovered a strange message within one of Robotnik's supercomputers. Dr. Robotnik is trying to take over a computer VR world, Micro Mobius, and the message is a plea for help from its peaceful inhabitants. So Sonic returns to Knothole to discover that Robotnik has captured captured his friends and taken them into his VR world, and Sonic has to save them and thwart Eggman's plans to reformat Micro Mobius. This game ended up being canceled. Not hard to see why. Let's move on to the next fact. Here's the next fact. There was an official Sonic level maker. So I am a huge fan of Super Mario Maker 2, and I've always wanted an official Sonic level maker. I mean, there kind of is one on Roblox right now called Classic Sonic Simulator, and realistically, it probably is the best option that we got and the best case scenario because there is multiplayer. As you can see, this is me on stream with a bunch of viewers in my lobby, and with some respect, there's a lot less limitations than there is in Super Mario Maker 2. But as far as official Sonic level makers goes, there actually was one. Sonic the Hedgehog Level Creator was a platform level editor game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series and was released under the Play Sega web service in September 2009, but as of 2011, it was unplayable. Now, there's some screenshots of this game, but the game itself is considered lost media because you can't play it anymore. It was inspired off of the classic Sonic games, as you can see right here. The Sonic Level Creator allowed users to create, play, and share custom levels for the original Sonic the Hedgehog game. All users of the Play Sega service were able to play the levels, but paying VIP members of the service were able to access the built-in level editor. The game was really cool, although the physics were pretty jank in it, but it's cool to see that there actually was an official Sonic level editor, and I would love to see them re-explore this idea, although I don't think it's ever likely that it will happen, because I'm pretty sure Takashi Iizuka said as much.